still processing my experience at Uconn. It's surreal. It's something I always dreamed about.
Yeah.
You know, but it always felt like the dream that was too big.
Right.
It still feels like the dream that was too big. And so sometimes I sit there, I'm like, is this real? You know, you have some games where you're playing in front of 15 to 20,000 and you're just like, is this real right now?
Am I dreaming?
Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? And so it was a huge deal. And you know, I think I felt it most when I went back to Guinea. And it was, at that time, you know, we were ranked number 1. And they said, you know, this is Batouly. She's from Guinea and her team is great. And that meant a lot to me because there's always someone rooting for you. And it's so different when it's your people.
So much, Tilly, for being in the Kannon show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So please introduce yourself to the viewers.
Yes. My name is Batouly Camara. I'm a second-year graduate student. I'm also a senior, now an alum of the Uconn women's basketball team.
How did you get into the basketball?
I started playing basketball at the age of 12. So that was really exciting for me. It was because I was tall and I saw other girls who were tall in a park one day and I just said, hey, where'd you get your jeans from? And they told me, and they said, you should play basketball, you're super tall. And from there, I joined my middle school team. I was the only girl for about 2 years.
You played with the boys?
Yeah, I played with the boys.
Wow.
It was interesting changing in a different locker. Everyone would come to the game and say, you know, who is she? Why is she on the team? And figuring that process out. But it was so much fun. Some of my good friends today. But as I mentioned, I grew really tall and I started playing with the boys and then eventually started playing AU with girls.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So could you tell me your journey as a Muslim basketball player?
Yeah. So for me, my whole family is Muslim. We're from West Africa, which is about 98% Muslim country. And so that was something I always went to school. I always went to Sunday school, you know, learning about Islam, learning surahs and doing all the fun Sunday school stuff that you do. And when I started going to boarding school at the age of 14, which was in New Jersey, it was kind of a difference. And you know, no more Sunday schools and feeling like I had to choose one or the other, which is not true, that I've learned. And now as I have gotten older to know, like, you know, Islam is so important and working on my spirituality to a point where now I'm working to be visibly Muslim and just working on my heart.
So you are able to incorporate the athletic side of you with the religious side of you.
Absolutely, and it wasn't until I saw, you know, great people like Bill Keys, Jamad, like out there playing the game they love, and also, you know, keeping Allah number 1, which is the best. And so that was really inspiring for me throughout my journey to have sisters and to have supporters who are already in the game.
So does your mom, your dad, like how's the family support?
Yeah, initially my family was always supportive of basketball. It was tough though as a girl. They didn't really understand it. They didn't think or understand the feasibility of really creating a lifestyle out of basketball. And in regards to Islam, it was, you know, this is a big step. You know, there's so much you can lose. And I'm like, you know, but alhamdulillah, there's so much you can gain, you know,
right.
from putting, again, Allah first. And so it was, I think it was scary for them. You know, sometimes when you're first generation, your first instinct is fear. Fear of the unknown. And so I think that's what it was rooted in. But throughout the process, they were like, if this is what you feel like is best for you, you know, we are scared, but we support you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And were you born here or?
Yeah.
You were born
I was born here, born in the Bronx, Bronx, New York, and at the age of 3, I moved to Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're Bronx girl.
Yeah.
So how did you're giving back to your community in a different way right now. Could you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I started Women and Kids Empowerment in 2017. Initially, we started in Guinea, West Africa. And there it was just basketball camps. And as the camp started progressing, and throughout the years, we started to develop and incorporate life skills, you know, workshops for coaches, and again, keeping the camp the main component. So that has been so fun. And it never feels like giving back. It feels like giving in. It feels like an extension of myself. It never feels like work. It feels so natural, and it's something I hope I can do for the rest of my life.
MashaAllah.
Inshallah.
And you mentioned something about the land part, like you bought land.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Like,
so in Guinea, it's kind of the same, a bit different structure, but it's not necessarily like a a realtor, but someone who owns the land, and you kind of go, you search your neighborhood. Is there any land in this area for sale? So you first target the area you want to go to. And then you figure out that area, you figure out, okay, the cost. And sometimes in Guinea, it's really interesting because people will sell land that is built, and you have to give the person on the land about 3 to 6 months to kind of move off the land and find a place to live, which makes sense. So it's very different. And for me as a first generation, I had to learn so much about that, like what it's like buying property. I've never even, applied for taxes here, so it took a lot for me to learn.
So the land is going to be built into like a camp?
Yeah, the land will be built into a girls' basketball academy, but it will be a boarding school, except for education. They would attend a local private school, which is not too far. About radius would be like 5 miles, and so it'll be about 20 girls is kind of our target area, our initial group for phase 1. They're all board, they all housed there, and then seek opportunities for education, furthering education, scholarships, basketball training, and study abroad opportunities is our goal.
Oh, that's amazing.
Inshallah.
And you're also doing something over here where you're giving back to the American public.
Absolutely. And so part of that is free basketball clinics. Basketball is such a huge part, and for me financially, I would never have the ability to play. Even if it was $20, I wouldn't have been able to play. So that's one of my largest goals, is just to be able to provide as many free clinics as possible. Sometimes they do get costly, but with fundraising, that helps. But being able to provide a fun experience for kids to play is really important to me.
So far, what do you say your like the most memorable or the achievement that you've gotten? What would it be? It doesn't have to be one. It could be multiple.
Yeah. I would say it would definitely be the continuous journey of choosing to seek Islam, to seeking knowledge. It's something that's not always easy, and I pray Allah makes it easy for all of us. But really seeking your God. That's something I'm really proud of, and I hope I can continue. Senior night recently for basketball was huge. It was something that you always look forward to, and it never feels close enough. But to be there with my family, and they don't know what you go through, but they're there to celebrate 4 years later, and it's like I made it out on the other side, like alhamdulillah, and it's a surreal feeling. So it was amazing for me.
Do you get any discrimination for being a Muslim player and actually looking like you're Muslim?
Yeah, I didn't play with hijab, so I think entering the professional realm of my career, God willingly, will be very interesting. And new territory for me to explore, but again, leaning on my sisters who have been there and who can support me through that. But aside from that, it's more so the misunderstanding. I don't understand why you're doing that. Why is it important? It's just a thing on your head, and so kind of having to explain that is tough. But there were a couple comments, but I would just say again, a lack of understanding has been the fundamental root of all those things.
So where do you see yourself, let's say after you graduate? Do you see yourself in WNBA, or what is that process?
Yeah. So for that process, you usually go about finding an agent, assessing where you want to play, what that looks like, and negotiating contracts, and then from there you choose, you narrow and you select, and God willing, it's the best for you. So that's gonna be an interesting process that started and it's starting, and so getting into that. But for me, it will definitely be playing professionally. The second would be doing my nonprofit, Women and Kids Empowerment, and continuing to fundraise and to advocate for those girls and to do more camps. And the third part would be trying to find a job with strategic development, whether that's in a larger corporation or a larger nonprofit or a business who's doing that, who really wants to give back to kids and provide camps and life skills and empowerment programs.
Being accepted in Uconn, right, to play for you,
Yeah.
could you explain to the viewers how big of a deal that is? Like, I don't think people understand what that is.
Yeah, I think I'm still processing my experience at Uconn. It's surreal. It's something I always dreamed about, but it always felt like the dream that was too big.
Right.
It still feels like the dream that was too big, and so sometimes I sit there, I'm like, is this real? You have some games where you're playing in front of 15 to 20,000, and you're just like, is this real right now?
Am I dreaming?
Am I dreaming? And
Right.
so it was a huge deal, and I think I felt it most when I went back to Guinea, and it was at that time, we were ranked number 1, and they said, this is Batouly, she's from Guinea, and her team is great. And that meant a lot to me because there's always someone rooting for you, and it's so different when it's your people, when it's back home, when it's the kids who don't even may not speak English, but I say Uconn. It's on the global level, so that's when it really hit how big it was for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're Muslim and you're from Guinea. You're like, it's like a whole different.
Yeah.
For me, when I watch you, when I see you, I'm like, she's really doing her thing. Like, how big deal it is. Like, you have to have the talent, you have to have the motivation and the love, of course, right, to get there.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to get to your level right now, like, what is the process for that? For a young girl?
I would definitely say there's beauty in the sacrifice. So I missed a lot of weddings. I missed a lot of events. I missed a lot of parties. I had to get new friends. It wasn't easy. And every day was a choice. What am I choosing and how am I choosing my future? And as a young kid, you don't want that. You want what's easy, you want what's now, you want to be with your friends, but having to say, no, I'm working towards my future. The one that I can't see, but the one I believe that can happen. So that's really a huge part. So I would say to every young girl is, if you want it, seek out a mentor, seek out someone who has done it. Reach out to me, and work towards it, because your dream without work is tough. So definitely work towards those goals you have set for yourself, and find people who push you and support you in doing so.
And you'd mentioned that you're doing a celebrity basketball on March 31st. Could you explain
Yes,
that?
I hope to do a celebrity basketball game on May 30th. This will be at Millbank, and working to just raise funds for some programming. So we're trying to do 6 camps. We're trying to triple or double, my math is horrible. We're trying to double.
It's cold.
It's cold. We are trying to double from our past years, and we're trying to go across Africa, back to India, back to France to do programming. So that's what the initial phase of the celebrity game will be, and to bring awareness, to bring some great people together, some entertainment in the community. So I'm really excited about that. And then phase 2 will be, again, fundraising for the Basketball Academy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Do you have any last words, inspiration for anyone?
Together we do so much, and we go through this thing, but I always believe until we all win, none of us have won. Until we are all one step closer, we can be better, we can be stronger, we can be united together. And I think through that is collaboration. There's so many projects I do that I try to take on myself, and I'm just like, who can I bring on? Who can I plug into this? Who's interested in this, and how can we work together to make both of our dreams a reality in this one segment? So for this celebrity game, partnering with sponsors, vendors, in the local community, with the kids. So a lot of this was, I had focus groups with kids. What do you want out of a celebrity game in your neighborhood? What would make you come? How much do you want to pay? What do I have to do to make this enjoyable for you and to make this mutually beneficial? So collaborate, and know that when everyone's better, we're all better together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much to the Kannon Show for having me. I really appreciate you, Salma. Again, my name is Batouly, so please follow me on Instagram at Tooly, TOOLYYY. The last Y is because I'm extra. And Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I really can't wait to get in touch with you all.